Hi everybody. It's 6:30 in the morning. I'm going to school in a very short amount of time, which sucks because I just had a 3-day weekend. I sound like I just rolled out of bed because I did. But anyway, I wanted to give you my reaction to the Hunger Games trailer now because I'm not going to be able to do it this week in film this weekend. Now, as many of you know, I quite enjoy this series, especially the first one. I think the first one is a brilliant book. It's one of the best books ever written for a young adult audience because it's just amazing and it captures so many great themes and all that stuff. The sequels are mediocre, but that's beside the point because this is an adaptation of the brilliant first book. And so far, what do I think? I have to say, I'm pretty impressed. I'm not really going to waste time explaining what the plot of this series is just because I'm going to save that for the review. So let's get right into it. The first thing that really seems to be working here is the cast. From Jennifer Lawrence to Josh Hutcherson to Elizabeth Banks to Woody Harrelson, everybody looks like they're firing on all cylinders here. Nobody looks like they're giving a half-assed performance, and everyone seems really invested in what they're doing. And they actually, like, now that I'm looking at it, seem to fit the characters better than they did maybe when I first heard about it. Like Josh Hutcherson as PETA, I really didn't quite see that, but now when I'm watching this trailer, I'm actually really seeing it. And also, like, they're having a really nice contrast between the people in the capital and the people in the districts, and I think that's very important. Like Elizabeth Banks as Effie Trinket is so crazy over the top, and so like, yes, we're selecting tributes now, and I think that's actually really a great choice because it has a great contrast between everybody, and I love how overblown the capital looks, and I'll get into that in a second. The other thing that really seems to be working here is everything visually. There are scenes in this trailer that capture my exact visual imagination when reading the book, and that's one of the first times this has ever happened. From District 12 to the Capitol to the scene especially when they're rising up out of those little holes getting ready to fight in the match and that countdown timer is going down. That was exactly how I pictured it in the book, and it was fantastic to see that on screen. But also, the other thing that I mentioned with the cast, but also applies here, is the contrast between the districts and the arena to the Capitol, which is so overblown and over the top, but not in like a way to where it looks like that. It just provides such a nice contrast to the districts, which are so grounded in reality. And that's one of the other things I'm liking so far. It seems like it's being shot in a more down-to-earth sort of way that I might have expected. I think that might be the influence of a smaller studio. But it doesn't look like a big movie. It looks like a movie that's going to be very grounded in characters and their motivations and why they're doing what they're doing, which is what the book was. It was just supplemented by action, and hopefully Gary Ross realized that, and judging by this trailer, he really has. The one thing I'm a little worried about is the dialogue. Some of the dialogue in this trailer is a little clunky. And that, I think, is because in the book, a lot of it is Katniss's inner monologue. And in here, they can't do that. So there are a couple cheesy lines that are kind of expository. And especially in the one-on-one conversations between characters, like there's a scene where Peeta tells Katniss, if I want to die, I want to still be me. And Katniss goes, I just can't afford to think like that. Like, there's just cheesy stuff like that in there. But it doesn't look like a huge deal, because at least this movie is going to be an eyeful, and that is for sure. And I have to say, overall, I'm very impressed with this trailer. I think it looks like a very solid adaptation of the book, and I was very worried that a couple of the decisions Gary Ross was making early on was going to ruin the adaptation, but it really looks like he's going to give a solid and respectful adaptation of the book. And now I'm officially on board and officially looking forward to it. And one final thing I like, they don't show you the games. And that's going to be their number one ploy in the marketing, is not showing you what happens in that arena, because that is the most dramatic part of the movie. And if you leave that to the audience's surprise, there are a couple things in there that are going to hit you pretty hard. So that was my reaction to the Hunger Games trailer. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please subscribe. And until next time, I'm Movie Kid Mike, making sure your time is worth your money.